Hey y'all, FTRV, how you doing? Well, we're out for a weekend of fun in Vanny Van Go. Tonight is an RV overnights at the Texas Inn in downtown Richmond, Virginia. Come join us. Yeah, weekend of fun in, what is it, Virginia? Virginia's for lovers. Tonight we're going to spend the night in Vanny Van Go. Then we're heading to, I don't even know, where are we heading to tomorrow? Staunton, Virginia. And then we're going to stay the night at another RV overnights tomorrow. I think this is Virginia Commonwealth University area. There's definitely a ton of homes. I think these are some like sororities or fraternities down here. Look at this Land Rover. Is that not cool? These are some pretty homes. I know that's a law firm. That may be a private residence there. Spooky, spooky. Really cool area though. Old cobblestone road. Made it back to Vanny Van Go. It's after 8. We're gonna watch some TV and then hit the sack. So we'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning all. It's about 6:30 and it's quiet. Much more quiet than it was last night. It's like a Tex-Mex kind of place back there. Anyways, it wasn't real bad. You know, we usually bring a fan with us that can kind of drown out sound, but we didn't. So it's a little loud at times, but I slept pretty good. Dawn said she slept pretty good. We are going to go get some coffee. Here we go. Here's the Wawa. Yeah, we got to get some gas. And then we're going to go in and get probably the best gas station coffee, if you want to call it that. And since we're in the city, gas is not as cheap as I'd like, but we were dumb enough to not get it yesterday on the road. Now we'll pull forward so other people can get their gas. Hit this parking spot right here and head in and get some good Wawa coffee. I see Dawn. Is that yours? Yay, pumpkin. Ah, yes. Pumpkin spice. What'd you go with?
Hazelnut.
And we got some breakfast sandwiches. Yum, yum. All right, off to our next stop. We made it. Staunton, Virginia. We were at about 1,400 feet in the mountains of Virginia. It's chilly, right?
Yeah, some cold.
Yeah. But if you recall, we were in Wytheville, Virginia not too long ago. I'll put a card up above and a link. Wytheville is where Woodrow Wilson's... Oh, good, because I didn't remember that. Was born and raised. Staunton is where who?
Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson was born and raised. That's kind of cool. And there's also a Asylum here. This is Mary Baldwin College right here. Staunton was established as a town in 1761. In 1781, it served as the state capital for 17 days as the Virginia General Assembly fled to what is now Trinity Episcopal Church, which we'll show you later, to avoid capture by British soldiers. Looks like a lot of Halloween stuff going on here. And there's that Asylum. Staunton consists of 6 distinct neighborhoods: Newtown, The Wharf, Stewart Addition, Beverly, Gospel Hill, and The Villages. These buildings here, although they look like homes, are actually warehouses, and they back up to the railroad, which arrived in 1854. Staunton was also known for freedom of religion. You can see all these steeples here, so there's plenty of churches to visit. Every Saturday, they offer a pretty big farmer's market. And yes, the railroad. As we all know, back in those days, railroads were very important. After the Civil War, the town's economy rebounded, and today, Staunton boasts a treasure trove of well-preserved architecture. The city's many historic districts are home to a remarkable collection of Victorian, Federal, and Greek Revival-style buildings. Ooh, a brewery. Maybe we'll stop by here later. The clock tower marks the center of town and was originally the YMCA. There's something to say about murals on the side of buildings. Just beautiful. I have to say, look at this hobby shop. That is cool. Look at that. I'm impressed. I wasn't expecting such a beautiful town. I wouldn't even call it a small town. It's pretty big. Look at this bank. 1865. Look at that architecture. Look at that beautiful stained glass up there inside the bank. National Valley Bank. Established in 1865, National Valley Bank is Staunton's oldest banking institution. Look at the stained glass and the architecture of these buildings. Look at this. Just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that porch up there. These homes have been here for generations and are now being purchased and rebuilt. Look at these homes. They're beautiful. This one's from the 1890s. He said it's some new owners just bought it and they're going to restore the inside. But we're on a nice walking tour. Free of charge. Put on by the Staunton, from what I gather, not Staunton. The Staunton Preservation Society. There's pre-Civil War homes here. And that's one of the last carriage houses. And what makes it a carriage house is you pull your carriage in underneath. That's where your horses and your carriage would be. And then you lived on top. We may or may not do the ghost tour tonight, but supposedly that house is haunted. And evidently, so is this one. See him up there? Oh yes, the Woodrow Wilson Presidential Library and Museum. President Woodrow Wilson was born in Staunton on December 28, 1856. Right next to his museum is his home. We'll take a look at that in a minute. A few different presidents have visited Staunton through the years. Of course, President Woodrow Wilson, our 28th president, and Ulysses S. Grant, which we'll talk about later. Woodrow Wilson's Pierce Arrow. And they said they can actually remove the top to make it a convertible. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? Wow.
It operates the speaker. He can talk to the driver. The driver can't talk back.
Oh, no.
That's the way you want it, right? Wow.
There's a jump seat that folds out here so that you can seat two more people in there.
Although this is Woodrow Wilson's birthplace, I didn't find any information about whether or not he was born in this home, but this is the home where he spent his childhood before he went off to college in North Carolina, Maryland, Virginia, and then as an early 20-something lived with his family in Wilmington, North Carolina. We call it the Wedding Cake Building. Just another example of architect T.J. Collins' work. He's responsible for a large portion of not only the buildings, but the homes in this area. And this here is the Masonic Temple, which is one of the largest buildings in Staunton. Let's take one more look at it here, and you're going to see the beautiful stained glass. Oh, and look, a burglar alarm. A lot of these buildings in Staunton have stained glass, usually higher up, so you get the the sun hitting that stained glass, but it's just beautiful. And of course, one more time, the center of the town. Look at the curved glass on those windows, just magnificent. Let's take a look at Trinity Church, which was built in 1855. It sits on the original location. Remember earlier where I told you the General Assembly met back in the 1700s. Look at the stained glass in this church.
Yeah, we have the second largest collection of Tiffany windows in the state of Virginia. We have 12 of them. If you count those,
The oldest one in the building.
and made pictures, but no offense to anybody named Bob. So this is
Look at that.
right.
Of course, the camera doesn't do it any justice. 2,572 pipes in that organ. Just amazing. It's actually only 25 years old.
So they'd unload all the freight supplies. There were wooden gang plates, so they didn't have to go down and then up. You just...
Yes, back to the railroad district, where you can get yourself a great bite to eat at the Depot Grill. We've made our way back to the train station, where some of the buildings date back to 1902, like this baggage room. And believe it or not, if you'd like, you can catch an Amtrak train right here at this station. It will take you to Charlotte. Or you can catch a 3-hour tour on the Virginia Scenic Railway, which starts and stops right here in Staunton. From that balcony right there, Ulysses S. Grant gave a speech. This historic building here was just renovated. But all the trim around the windows and all that beautiful stuff up at the top looks like wood, but it's actually all iron, cast iron. Augusta County Courthouse, which was the courthouse. It's hard to see on this map, but for this whole area, going out to Illinois, Chicago, up to Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Ohio. Here's the James River. And of course, here we are right over here. But that whole area was served by this courthouse. Sorry, going up a huge hill. I feel like I'm in Pittsburgh here. Anyway, that was a great tour. Brian, thanks so much. A lot of information. And it ends up that Brian worked on Capitol Hill too, so we had a little bit to talk about. Yeah, getting to Vanny Van Gogh just to drop some stuff off. And there it is, right by this beautiful house. Look at that. We picked up a loaf of bread from Grain Story Bakery at the farmer's market. We were told that these are actually walnuts. So I'm gonna pick one up and see. Let's hit the Split Banana Company. We may have to do some gelato. What'd you go with?
Pistachio and s'mores.
And I went with pumpkin pie and peanut butter. Oh my God.
Good, right?
So good.
Yeah.
Good. And there's actually waterways that run right under the town, which is pretty cool. Now let's just take one or two more looks at some of this beautiful architecture and some of these old buildings like White Star Mills. up the Sears Hill Bridge, which dates back to 1906. There was actually bridges before that too, but this one's 1906.
So you see how people are starting to put the locks on.
Yeah. Here's where Grant gave that speech. It was the American Hotel, right along the railroad. One more time, here it is. This building was the largest Ford dealership. I think he said east of the Mississippi, going back to Model T times. And there's actually some old cars in here today. Elder Antique Auto. Oh, and some new cars. Got a Lincoln right there, maybe a 1970 Cadillac, old 70s Blazer back there, Olds here, Buick there, 1928 Ford 1.5 ton Express. It's Saturday, but there's a decent amount closed. Been cool to see that museum, but that's okay. Here we go. What is now the Blackburn Inn. But it was originally an insane asylum, and then it was a prison, and now not only is it an inn, but it is also condos and other places. So if this isn't eerie, I don't know what is. I mean, look at this. It is now a hotel. Here we go. The spiral staircase to look out. Tell me in the comments below what you would call this part of a building. And there's the main town. Wow, look at some of these original doors. And I guess to pass things through. There's the Blackburn Inn. Let me know in the comments, could you stay in a former insane asylum? I don't know if I could. How about you?
Yeah, I could.
Next stop, Shenandoah National Park. We are on Skyline Drive right now, which is 105 miles long. We entered at the bottom end here by the Blue Ridge Parkway, and we've just stopped at the McCormick Gap Overlook. McCormick Gap Overlook. I can see for miles and miles. I can see for miles and miles. Well, we made it to our next RV overnights. Patch Brewing Company in Gordonsville, Virginia. I'll put it below if that's not correct, but I think it's Gordonsville. It is a really pretty huge place. They got food trucks. And let me show you here. Got some other RVs hanging out here today.
You bullets fly across the river to open night. My heart is spitting bullets
I
from
know
the
you told your
side.
friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long. It
Evening
hurts
is
to
upon us. Let's take a look at old Vanny Van Gogh. Look at that. Lights are shining. Yeah, people still partying away. You got restrooms outside right over here. So that might come in handy tonight. Well, you can see the sun going down. We're going to head in, watch some TV. I think Dawn may read some. And then we're going to hit the sack and head home in the morning. So, as always, thanks for watching. Subscribe, share with your friend, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye now.